I just turned 31 last month on the 5th. People seem to be nudging me more and more about why I'm not married yet. My mom has been hammering this point for years. But honestly, I'm not in a rush. People are getting married later these days anyway. Life isn't all sunshine and rainbows, though things keep going south. Living is getting harder, no doubt about it. I'm Natalie. I'm 31 years old. I've always lived with my parents and do a lot around the house. My dad is currently in the hospital for treatment and needs assistance. Mom acts like it's not her problem and piles it all on me. She's always been the controlling type, manipulating everything and everyone, including my dad. Now that dad is hospitalized, guess who's the new target of her control? Yep, me. I'm stuck with all the household chores, taking care of dad, and managing finances, while she's out having fun at hobby classes and tea parties with friends. I do have an older sister named Cameron, who's married but has no kids. A few months back, her husband was transferred, and she decided she couldn't live in a new place, so he went alone. I thought, she really is mom's daughter. But what happened next was even more unbelievable. Cameron decided to move back in with our parents, saying she would quit her job because paying rent was a waste. Did her husband even agree to this? I didn't voice my concerns. However, the constant nagging started getting to me, and I began to feel stressed out. When are you planning to leave this house? You're becoming the talk of the neighborhood. I bet it's about marriage again, isn't it? If you know, then hurry up and get married. Oh, you can't because you don't have anyone, right? Why don't you get someone to introduce you to someone? It's my life. Leave me alone. That's not an option. Do you know what someone said to me today? They said it must be tough having a parasite for a daughter who's unemployed. I'm not a parasite or unemployed. You're just talking smack about me again, aren't you? You're not working, you're just cleaning, doing laundry, and running to the hospital to take care of dad. And you're not even married. It's embarrassing. Why can't you be like me? Have a job and get married. Live a decent life. From a young age, Cameron always had a knack for getting what she wanted, and mom was pretty lenient. So Cameron ended up at a lower tier college while I got into a state university. Cameron didn't like that one bit. From that point on, she treated me like an enemy. It was awful. When I started working, I'd come home exhausted, only to be saddled with all the household chores. Yep, I had to do the cleaning, laundry, and meal prep, everything. I reached my limit and quit my job to focus on the house, but apparently that wasn't good enough either. I got called a deadbeat. Things got even worse when dad got hospitalized. Mom and Cameron took full advantage of dad not being around and just did whatever they wanted. Taking care of dad fell to me. Then neither mom nor Cameron would even go to the hospital. I couldn't take it anymore. 6 months later, dad passed away. I was devastated, but I had to handle all the funeral arrangements myself, since neither mom nor Cameron lifted a finger. During the funeral, all the talk was about inheritance, not remembering dad. I was told by dad to renounce any claim to his assets, so I ignored it. We sure lucked out with you renouncing your inheritance. Oh, we bought a vacation home years ago. I'm sure it's worth a lot now. Mom, stop. Dad just died. Shouldn't we be saying goodbye? Huh? Get off your high horse. Our lives could change with this inheritance. We have to be practical. Since you renounced your claim, stay out of it. You're so stupid. You'll end up poor. Maybe I should invest and make more money. Enough. Think about dad. He was sick for years and you didn't even visit him. You're just after his money. I lost it. Despite me putting $2,000 into the household every month, they told me If you're broke, get out. Fine. I left. A month later, they called. We're sorry, please help us, Mom and Cameron cried. I couldn't help but chuckle. Cameron and Mom took turns on the phone and pleaded to me. Natalie, help us, please. We can't manage. What's going on? Let me explain. Turns out your father hadn't paid off the house. He said he'd used his retirement fund, but he didn't. We need $2,000 a month and we can't come up with it. Then get a job. We can't start working now. Plus, listen to this. There's no money left. The vacation home was sold off. No money in the bank, and now that he's gone, we can't find out anything. Please help us. You're the only one with a stable job. You can help us, right? I can't. Wait, are you planning to abandon your own parents? I can't believe you'd have the nerve to bring up Dad's inheritance now. You didn't even visit him in the hospital while he was suffering, but now he's gone, and you're all excited about his assets. I couldn't forgive you for that. Well, what choice did we have? You need money to survive. It's a big deal. My dad was more important to me than his money. You, who never even supported him emotionally, think you're entitled to his estate? All of Dad's assets were consumed by debt. What? What do you mean? Explain this debt thing right now. Cameron and Mom were shocked at my mention of debt. Dad always spoke to me when I took care of him. It was about his financial state and his debts. He was a guarantor for a friend's failing business. When that friend passed away, Dad got stuck repaying the debt. He used his retirement funds to settle it. So the mortgage on our home went unpaid. Dad depleted his savings on monthly payments as well as on his medical bills. He once talked to me about what would happen if he couldn't keep up the payments anymore. I couldn't stand to see my retired father burdened like that. I decided to take over the payments. It wasn't like I ever thought he'd pass away. Every month, $2,000 from my earnings would cover the mortgage and living expenses. Dad always apologized to me. He even told me to renounce any claims to his estate. If Dad died, the mortgage would still be there. That would be Mom and Cameron's problem. I had always told Dad that I wanted to move out, so he chose in my favor. I didn't want to think about him dying, so I brushed it off. I had all of this sorted out in my head. The ones who didn't know were Cameron and Mom. When I laid it all out, they were both stunned. Hold on. You're saying the house mortgage hasn't been paid off? Who's been covering it? You couldn't possibly be doing it. You, who doesn't even work? That's what I've been saying. I'm not a deadbeat. You are a deadbeat. You're not going to work or doing anything around the house. Going to a physical office isn't the only form of work. I have a STEM degree from a state university. I can work without going to a company. What are you talking about? Don't get cocky just because you went to college. If you don't know that much, that's on you. Wait, so when you were holed up in your room, you were actually working? Yes, I had a deal with Dad. I was paying $2,000 a month for the mortgage and living expenses. Dad's medical costs were piling up, so of course he couldn't manage. I had no idea. I need you to come back because I can't pay off the loan. I thought Dad had left some assets. Turns out there's nothing, and even a pending loan. I should have just stayed with my husband from the get-go. I can't believe this. You're really just after the money, huh? What? You don't get it, Natalie. I get enough. I'm not coming back. Deal with it yourself. Wait, don't be so cold. We're sisters, and Mom's gonna have a hard time too. You should do your family duties. Cameron, you do it. I've been paying $2,000 all this time. I can't. I'm just a part-time housewife. Then get a full-time job. It's not that easy at my age. If both of us work part-time, we can handle it, so try your best. Natalie, wait, help me, please. I hung up the phone. After that, I received no further contact. I assumed she'd given up and went on enjoying my life alone. I rewarded myself by renting a slightly larger room and thoroughly enjoyed living alone for the first time. A relaxing gray sofa in the living room, navy blue curtains, and a light blue bed cover in the bedroom. I had a blast picking out stuff for my new home. I was utterly pleased with my newfound freedom and cozy space. Then, 2 weeks later, I got a call from Cameron. It's a disaster! What do I do? Still haven't made the payment, huh? That's one thing, but I don't want to know. It's not that. My husband had a car accident. What? He's alive, but he's gonna lose a leg. Can't work anymore. We have no place to live because I gave him the house and I haven't been paying the loan. Just rent a place. I bet you canceled the room without telling your husband, right? Exactly. If he finds out I'm doomed, I don't have a place to live. My husband's coming back next week and I need to figure something out. Apologize to your husband, start with a small apartment, or doesn't he have savings? Neither is possible. I was the one managing the money. I've used it all up, even the money he'd saved. That's on you, isn't it? Please, this is my one lifetime request. Help me pay off the loan here and I'll secure a home. I'll work hard to pay the loan. Really? You better start looking for a job then. Don't say it like it's easy. I have no time. Can you pay off the loan here while I find a job? I'll do whatever it takes. I've changed my ways. Changed how? Listen, I finally understood the importance of money, okay? And that I shouldn't burden others with my problems. I'll take care of myself, so just help me out this one time, please. Wow, how enlightening. See, I told you, I've had an epiphany. You're amazing. Amazing for getting scammed so easily? What are you talking about? You think you can fool me? No, you're misunderstanding. I was in utter disbelief. I never thought Cameron would lie like this. The truth is, my brother-in-law finally got some time off and was thinking about coming home from his remote work location. He wanted it to be a surprise and hadn't told Cameron. When he tried to unlock the house, the key didn't work. Upon closer inspection, he noticed the nameplate had changed. Panic-stricken, he contacted me. I met him and explained everything. He was furious and booked a business hotel without even meeting Cameron. He then thoroughly checked all the bank accounts and credit card statements. All this time, Cameron was trying to con me into paying off his loans. I brushed it all off without mentioning my brother-in-law. Cameron, whether you're in trouble or not, it has nothing to do with me. Sorry, but I can't pay your loan. Don't call me again. Cameron seemed flustered, but I hung up the phone. And then, a few days later, my brother-in-law took action. He realized he couldn't trust Cameron anymore and decided to divorce. He had a lawyer visit Cameron to break the news. Cameron was at a loss for words, stunned for a moment. Eventually, she confronted the lawyer, but it was all gibberish. As the lawyer was about to leave, saying, "It seems we'll have to go to court," Cameron pleaded, "Wait, I can't afford a lawyer. Could we at least split the assets? He must have cash stashed away somewhere without telling me." To the very end, Cameron was selfish. It's all her fault. Yet she tries to scrape money from anywhere she can. Just like how she can be someone's husband, she had no problem pulling one over on her family either. As for Cameron and Mom, neither seemed willing to work and were blaming each other for their problems. Payments were overdue, and they had no choice but to sell the house. They kept calling me, but I ignored and blocked their calls. What happened to them afterward, I have no idea. And frankly, I couldn't care less. I reported all this at my father's grave. I'm sure he's smiling from wherever he is. Work started picking up for me, and I decided to start my own business. I'm now dating the guy who has been a massive support through all of this. Maybe, just maybe, my long single life is coming to an end.